world where either you're a villain or you're a superhero. You lame, can't play this game.
It's the weakest move I've ever seen by a superstar.
It's Golden State for Kevin Durant.
Durant drives and finishes. Kevin Durant from downtown.
The back-to-back NBA Finals MVP.
Kevin Durant's at that place where the all-time greats get, the crossroads of physical and mental superiority. Durant goes down holding his leg.
He's a good teammate. He's a good person. It's not fair.
How devastating is this injury to Durant's career?
Y'all know who I am. I'm Kevin Durant.
Talk about tilting the Eastern Conference. That's a championship team right away.
Say that you a baller. You lame, can't play this game. Step up.
Welcome back to First Take. We're coming to you live from above the Heineken River Deck at Pier 17. The NFL trade deadline has come and gone. Here's a look at trades that took place previously. Jalen Ramsey went from the Jags to LA. The Falcons sent Mohamed Sanu to New England. The Jets traded Leonard Williams to the Giants. And just yesterday, the Rams sent Aqib Talib to the Dolphins. Meanwhile, on deadline day, the Eagles and Chiefs were not able to get any deals done, and they were both hoping to make something happen. Back with us now, Marcus Spears. Stephen A., which team was the biggest loser at the trade deadline?
To me personally, it was the Philadelphia Eagles, and only from the standpoint that, you know, with Deshaun Jackson being out and A.J. Green was out there, considering the way your secondary has looked, the Darius Slays of the world were out there. Whether it's a wide receiver or a cornerback, you're talking about one player being able to come into Philadelphia and make a huge difference. At 4-4, just a half game behind the Dallas Cowboys, clearly in a vulnerable and up for grabs NFC East. Knowing that the wild card is not going to come out of that division in all likelihood. It's likely going to come out of the North or the West. If I'm the Philadelphia Eagles, I do what I can because I don't know the status of Deshaun Jackson right now, who's been hurt. Obviously, Aguilar and Alshon Jeffrey ain't the answer. Zach Ertz needs some help as well because of his relationship with Carson Wentz. You know Carson Wentz is going to target him, but he needs some help, and he needs some wideouts that can get open and catch the damn ball. And you got a guy like A.J. Green who doesn't deserve what he has been subjected to. You talk about a guy that feels sorry for. I mean, you can't buy a good situation for him in Cincinnati. It's been a joke for years. It's a joke now. And you want a guy of his talent and his character to get the hell up out of there and to get himself on a good team. So it would have been nice to see that or them acquire a corner. The fact that they did neither, to me, is not a good thing for the Eagles.
Well, if the question was, what's the most surprising team not to make a deal, then you would be right. Because the Eagles are the most surprising to me because they've made deadline deals the last couple of years and because of the points that you mentioned. But you are wrong because that's not the team that most needed to make a deal. That team would be the Kansas City Chiefs, who have the offense, particularly second half of the season with Kareem Hunt. I'm thinking about the Browns. Particularly second half of the season with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes' knee getting better, getting on the field ostensibly, right, and returning to form. Andy Reid coaching, who clearly knows what he's doing, hungry, never won a Super Bowl. That team can't play defense. And when you look at the defensive pieces that were available in and around the trade deadline, like forget about Minkah Fitzpatrick and Jalen Ramsey, right? Even if we're not talking about secondary help, Leonard Williams from the Jets to the Giants. How about some help up front? How about against the run? How about getting to the quarterback? And guys in the backfield, Janoris Jenkins or Patrick Peterson. There were a lot of guys available that could have helped the Chiefs match up better in pass protection, stop the run, get to the quarterback, basically improve on the defensive side of the ball because we all know offensively, when healthy, they're a juggernaut. They're unstoppable. But unlike the Saints, unlike the Patriots, unlike the Niners, unlike the teams we look at and go, they can win the Super Bowl right now. They don't have the defense. There were plenty of pieces at all kind of price points in terms of what you could trade draft picks, et cetera, for available. The Chiefs did nothing.
First of all, the Chiefs aren't one player away, so I just don't agree with that sentiment. I know it's the popular narrative, but they have more holes than you think. And here's the deal. Leonard Williams has been a disappointment with the Jets. So to get him on the Chiefs team, you're just making a move just because Leonard Williams is available. This is what I believe. And when we look at the AFC, first let me get to my answer. It's the Cleveland Browns. Clearly, it's the Cleveland Browns. First of all, they're trying to figure out who's their franchise, if they have a franchise quarterback in Baker Mayfield, who they can't protect, right? And I know the Redskins said they weren't interested in trading Trent, but I would have scoured this league to find one or two offensive linemen that could potentially be on the trading block. You look at this team, everywhere else, they're suffice. They have two legit running backs, Nick Chubb and obviously Kareem Hunt coming back. You think about OBJ and Jarvis Landry. Between the talent on the field, their offensive line away from truly seeing if their franchise quarterback, who they think Baker Mayfield is legit, or they have to go another direction because right now they can't protect him.
How do you figure if you go at the coach? Big fella, you went at the coach. So even if you have a line.
But you ain't trading the coach. You firing the coach at the end of the year if you don't think he can get the job done. But regardless of who your coach is, if you have an offensive line that can't protect the quarterback that you're trying to play in this franchise around, you still don't know if you have a good coach. So I just look at Cleveland in this situation, right? You look at this stretch that they're about to have, which all of these games are foreseeable as wins, except Baltimore, by the way, who they beat earlier this year, but Baltimore is obviously playing better. They still have questions about their personnel and the most important position, and you got to help bring that along with guys that can protect to see if Baker Mayfield can do it. That would be my justification for saying that Cleveland is the biggest loser, because everything else they did was great. They acquired a lot of talent at skill positions. Defensively, I think they're in a good spot with young, talented players. The offensive line is the issue, and they could have used some help in that offensive line, not only to hopefully make their season better this year, but to also find out if their quarterback is legit.
Marcus, last year the Chiefs come one pre-snap penalty away from getting past the Pats into the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Their defense was no good last year. It's no good this year. Certainly it wouldn't hurt to add a defensive piece, even if it's not a Jalen Ramsey top-end dude. There are some guys who could help. Stephen A., you talk about the Eagles. I agree with you. They need team speed, especially without Deshaun Jackson. A.J. Green's a great fit anywhere, really. But when you talk about their secondary's finally healthy. And no, they're not any great shakes, but at least they got starters at corner now.
But I didn't bring up their health in their secondary. I brought up the fact that they weren't very good. I mean, we were lamenting the fact that they were struggling because they didn't have Darby and they didn't have Jalen Mills. Jalen Mills came back, as far as I'm concerned, they still didn't look any different. They still stuck up the joint. Their secondary is highly suspect. And by the way, in terms of their defensive line, what the hell you lose Michael Bennett for? He went to New England and now he's going to be in Dallas. What the hell did you lose him for? I think that's a bad thing as well. But ultimately, with Carson Wentz, we have seen this offense show up on a Thursday night in Green Bay with their backs against the wall. They lose that game. They would have been 3 games back from Dallas. Their season would have been over. They won that game. We saw their backs against the wall last week in Buffalo, albeit against a team that couldn't pass, but could run the ball effectively and had a defense with a front 7 that could get at you. And the Eagles found a way to drop plus 30 on them. I'm of the mindset you get another wideout, particularly with the specter or the hope that Deshaun Jackson comes back. You can really do some damage. And I agree with you, Marcus, in terms of I view the Eagles the same way you view Cleveland. So it's tomato, tomato. I get where you're coming from. But I just have more faith that the Philadelphia Eagles will be able to do more with an acquisition than a second-year quarterback and a first-year coach with an offensive line that can't protect either of them coming into the mix. I don't believe that Cleveland would do well with them the way the Eagles would do well with a new acquisition.
Stephen A., is really based in what we all see as the difference. And I agree with both you and Max about how you guys see it. But I look at Cleveland beyond just this year. They're still trying to figure out. The Chiefs know who their franchise quarterback is. The Eagles obviously know who their franchise quarterback is because they paid him. Cleveland has issues around the future as well as right now. So that's why I look
but I'm only talking about right now.
And they may
I'm
need
only
to
talking
bring
about
in
right now.
an offensive lineman, Marcus, but for an offensive line to gel midway through the season when you have questions about the head coach and the quarterback, to me, that's not like a missed opportunity at the deadline. When I look at the Chiefs, I see, and you might look at Mahomes and say he's young, they'll be good forever, they don't have to push their chips in the middle of the table now. But damn it, they got a squad right now when Mahomes is healthy. But the difference between them and the teams you really think are going to win the Super Bowl is the defense. And for the second year in a row, the trade deadline passes and you go, there were lots of dudes available and they didn't really address the defense.
Well, the Patriots got Mohamed Sanu, so that one worked out.
Well, the thing that's working out.
Surprise, they're potentially the winner
the
again.
thing that's working out for the Chiefs is that the New England Patriots ain't world beaters on offense either.
That's right. But at least they got, as Molly points out, they got a wideout. They needed one. They got
one. Somebody that can make things
Molly.
happen. No, you're all good. Marcus, we'll see you on NFL Live. Always good to talk to you, and we'll see you in studio next week.
All right, family. Peace.
All right, we got to talk a little NBA.
I have my cowboy hat for you.
Stop it.
Oh, snap. I miss Southern Steve. Who's the best teammate LeBron has played in the NBA? Is it D. Wade or the Brow? Who's the better teammate? Keep voting in our poll. Plus, Kyrie Irving. Should the Nets be concerned about him?